said, quote, "I guess," adding that the U.S. plans to stop attacks, but he said, when you go to war, some people will die. Back to you.
Okay, Carla Babb, thank you for that update.
Yeah. Joining us now is former National Security Council Chief of Staff Fred Fleitz, former Deputy National Security Advisor Victoria Coates, and former Navy SEAL Adam Schwarze. Appreciate you all joining us this afternoon. A lot to break down here, especially from that report from Carla. We heard from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth that Russia and China are assisting Iran at this moment. The Washington Post reporting that Russia is helping on the ground with a sighting where the Americans are. Fred, what do you make of this? Is this surprising to you?
No, it's not surprising, and it's consistent with other reports we've seen this week that Russia, China, and probably North Korea have been heavily involved in helping Iran make significant technological leaps in its missiles and drones. A lot of reporting this week on what we're seeing from China. We know that Russia is providing missile technology to the North Koreans in exchange for their military aid for the war in Ukraine. I am certain they're providing similar assistance to Iran, and we can see the results. Iran has fired missiles and drones at almost every nation in the Middle East with incredible accuracy. And given how this program is surging, it's a good thing that Trump attacked now.
Victoria, I want to get to this. Obviously, the United States, we have heard time and time again, we are going to be dropping big-time weapons and bombs on Iran for quite a while. But there's also increasing chatter that maybe the Iranian Kurds, who are currently right across the border in Iraq, they're preparing what could be a full-scale assault on the regime. They're backed by the CIA, Israel's Mossad. Iran has also responded to that threat, warning the Kurds, saying that if they launch an operation into Iran, the quote, all facilities of Iraq's Kurdistan will be targeted in an extensive manner. So is it only a matter of time before we see some type of ground forces enter into Iran and start to have to fight, hand-to-hand combat, so to speak?
Well, that's certainly a possibility, Bob. And, the Peshmerga, the Iraqi Kurdish forces that have partnered with the United States on counter ISIS, for example, campaigns are extremely capable. And we've trained and equipped them over the years to make them even more capable. So that is certainly a possibility. And if we continue as we've started here and start the final degradation of the missile defense systems, the stockpiles of both drones and missiles, and the launchers before we go after the nuclear sites, that goes a long way toward neutralizing the tools at the regime's disposal. And I think that's also very important for the people of Iran to know that at that point, our air superiority is complete. We can fly helicopters if we want to, because they can't do anything to shoot them down. And so at that point, we would have a lot of other things we could do short of boots on the ground to protect the Iranian people if they try to take things into their own hands.
And to your point, Victoria, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is also telling Iran to be cautious because they haven't seen the worst yet.
Indeed.
As part of when we say more to come, it's more fighter squadrons, it's more capabilities, it's more defensive capabilities, and it's more bomber pulses more frequently. The amount of firepower over Iran and over Tehran is about to surge dramatically.
Adam, you're a former Navy SEAL. Your reaction to the Secretary of War?
I think this is exciting. This is a month planned in operations, and they conducted their priority one targets within a couple of days, and they're already now on their second tier targets. We have knocked out one of the largest world sponsor of terrorism and one of the largest military forces in the entire world in under a week. That's the most decisive knockout in military history, and it's because of President Trump's leadership and Secretary of War's leadership and re-vectoring the military back onto what it was when I was serving under Trump 1.0, lethality and combat effectiveness. No more CRT in our military, no more DEI, and now you're looking what happens when we've refocused the military on what it's supposed to do, be an effective warfighting apparatus under this administration, and it's so proud to be an American right now.
Fred, potentially, we got 30 seconds. Regime change, as President Trump is saying, he's only going to accept, whom he sees fit as the next leaders of Iran. So do you have any insight as to what that could look like at this point, or still maybe too early?
The president's taking a very aggressive approach to Iran's leaders. He's trying to demoralize them. But at the end of the day, he's trying to create an opportunity for the Iranian people to take back their government